Historically, juvenile courts primarily dealt with boys under delinquency jurisdiction and girls under status offense jurisdiction. This distinction has often led to different processing of female status offenders in courts and in mental health and juvenile justice institutions. And I know we haven't delved into the juvenile justice system yet. That's coming. Just kind of a overview here. The Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974 provided impetus to divert, deinstitutionalize, and decriminalize all status offenders. Although the act restricted commitment of status offenders to training schools, states did not provide adequate community-based alternatives for girls. Female status offenders were relabeled as delinquent and often confined in private sector mental health and chemical dependency treatment facilities, or they were placed in detention as a protective strategy when other placements weren't available. And we'll explore those when we talk about the juvenile delinquency system. Expert Dr. Chesney Lynn has been researching the treatment of females in the juvenile justice system for the last 30 years. Her research has shown that girls are still victims in the juvenile justice system, and it starts at the point of inception into the juvenile justice system, i.e. meaning it starts with the police contact and an arrest. And girls are more likely to be arrested for sexual activity, and while that same conduct is completely ignored by the police when it's the boys who are engaged in that behavior. If a girl's behavior is deemed morally incorrect by government officials or considered beyond parental control, the stage is then set for inconsistent treatment in the system compared to the boys. While girls commit fewer crimes, when they are committing a crime and petitioned into the juvenile justice system, they end up more harshly punished, even for the minor offenses like status offenses, than boys. According to research, the justice system appears to show a bias against people who identify as gay, lesbian, or transgender, and those individuals are incarcerated disproportionately more. So overall, we'll speak more about the juvenile justice system in great detail, 4 different chapters later this semester. But in sum, girls in the justice system experience a multitude of risk factors, often a higher rate than their male counterparts. Offending girls exhibit higher rates of mental health problems. They exhibit more aggression toward family members or romantic partners, and suffer more negative consequences from their justice system involvement than offending boys. Antisocial girls are less likely to access treatment and have fewer community-based treatment options than boys, despite their increased need for services. And finally, girls who are formally charged are more likely to be placed in secure confinement than boys in the same situation, and to act out violently once they are there. The combination of these factors puts female offenders on a pathway to continued justice system involvement and long-term dysfunction that then they carry on into adulthood, and then they pass on to their children. And sadly, officials and policymakers still show a lack of concern about girls' victimization or factors that brought them to the attention of the juvenile justice system to begin with. So this concludes the discussion on gender and delinquency. Our next chapter is going to be discussing the family and delinquency.